Hey, welcome. I'm so happy you're here. I'm Dr. Arielle Hammond, and this is the Enrichment Entrepreneur, a podcast for current and aspiring entrepreneurs who are in the business of helping kids thrive. We're talking after school programs, summer camps, tutoring, enrichment, the people and places that show up for kids outside the classroom. I'm still building right alongside you, and that's exactly why we're here, to learn, grow, and figure this out together.
Let's go!
Hey, welcome back to the Enrichment Entrepreneur. I'm your host, Arielle, and today we're going to talk about why no one is finding you, but don't worry, it's a fixable problem. Marketing, when I've talked to people in the community, is the number one thing unprompted that people come up with. They do a lot of different things. A lot of things don't work. It is the exact reason why our first guest episode featured an executive in marketing, and specifically that had experience with small business marketing, because it's something that a lot of small businesses struggle with, but especially kids enrichment businesses. Certain things work for us that don't work for other types of businesses, and vice versa. So when we consume like general business and marketing advice, it might lead us astray a lot more. And it can be really costly. Like a personal story, I consumed this advice that said, you need to put aside 10% of your projected revenue and put that into marketing. And that if you don't do that, then you're actually like handicapping your business. Your business can't grow and reach the goals you have for it if you're not putting specific money proactively in the ad spend and marketing spend. So I did that and started spending it in quarter one. Didn't see any results from it, but I was spending a lot more because I had ambitious goals. I wanted to like double revenue. So, okay, let's bulk up this spend. Spent so much money on a firm to do a lot of the work for us, thinking, hey, it's time to have some expert help with implementation, because certain things take a longer time to learn, especially as algorithms are always changing. So Google's always changing. We were trying to get some SEO stuff going there and just using AdWords more. We were still doing social media stuff, maybe a little bit of promotion via social media, but also exploring traditional media and ads through like traditional news media outlets, and even like a podcast commercial that we did through our public broadcast, Oregon Public Broadcast. So if you listen to OPB, you might hear an ad for us. So did a few of those things. And although some things worked, what we found really did work was the stuff we were already doing. So promoted features in local family and kids magazines specifically. That works for us. It might be $500 per feature, but when parents are looking to get a lay of the land for what is happening with kids' activities, they go to family parenting specific websites. And when they're new in town, they may pick up the print version of that magazine. A lot of those media companies will make the print magazines free for consumers, and also online is free for them to access it. So yeah, that has worked for us. So we try to do so much more other stuff, and it didn't work. It was a waste of money. And the company we used, I want to say, to add insult to injury, sometimes they would even make errors, like really simple errors. If you charge us $2,500 to do this feature, to do one Google ad thing and one promo feature on like Facebook, and then we look at the ad and there are typos in just the little visual that we then have to correct and go back and forth. And that was $2,500. Yikes. We could have did much better for free. So, yeah, stop doing that. And interestingly, when I spoke to Brandon Laws, who has been a consultant working with me and in my business for a while now, I told him about that advice that I had learned. And I said, they say you got to spend money to make money, so I'm spending it. And he said, no. He said that you didn't need to do that. Local is best. And it's so true because I am the consumer. I am that customer. I buy kids activities, enrichment services, all that stuff. I know where I go to look for that stuff. I don't look at these places that they were doing, the ads through the company that we were using. So it's just really interesting that somehow I lost sight of that. I lost perspective and just did what the confident business guru suggested. So yeah, I recommend maybe not doing that. Like seeing what you can do for free first and looking at what's worked for you specifically in the past and just doubling down on that a bit more. With us, there is a visibility paradox. So we run programs that parents love. You run programs that parents love. Your renewal rate tells you parents love it. New families can't find you because you're spending your marketing hours doing manual scheduling, you're chasing invoices, and you're toggling between all these platforms. But here's the thing. So the operators that look really great at marketing, they're just the operators who have gotten their operations really tight enough to have the time left over to do those marketing activities. This is what I've realized over time. Putting the important work, making sure that it time and energy is carved out for that over the urgent work. And in kids enrichment businesses, there's always going to be something. There's going to be, and a coach is sick. There's a snow day. School got canceled. There's always going to be something. Oh no, someone resigned. Now you got to hurry up and hire. Now you have to cover a program. Oh no, we're missing these materials. Where'd they go? There's always something. So if we are running, trying to keep up with the different platforms, tools, all those different things we're using just to get by on the day-to-day operations, and then we're manually doing all of our marketing work as well, well, then we're not going to have time, bandwidth, energy to get above the fray and work on that strategic marketing work, because the best marketing work really is strategic. And that's something I've had to learn the hard way. It's not something you can think of after everything else is done. That's not when you get the best outcomes. And the best marketing plans, they are intentionally thought out months in advance. Because if you want to say you want to get a sponsored ad through your local kids media platform, a lot of times they're booked out 3-6 months in advance, especially because we know our businesses, by and large, are very cyclical, and the time of the year is crucial to when we do our advertisements. So the most popular family magazine or media publication in your area, they likely do a big summer camp episode. And if you are a summer camp provider and you're waiting until like March, April to reach out to them and say, hey, can I be featured in this summer camp episode? That's too late. They've already sold the best spots in their publication. They might not even have any space. It's going to be a last minute markup if they have space for you at all. I say this from experience because I've reached out and thought, look at me ahead of the game. I've thought, oh, wow, okay, it's March. Camps don't start till June. Look at me, getting above the fray. And then, and then the representative responds and they're like, we have like one more spot in our last minute, literally like last minute, camps with last minute availability I wanted to say episode, magazine that will go out in June or July. I'm like, oh, well, that's kind of not the feature I want. That's not putting my best foot forward. Sure, I'll take it. And I did. But by that time, most families have already made their plans for summer. So you're really going to catch maybe, 1-2 families that somehow their plans changed, but it's not the best time to do that. And it's not the best spend. So we have to be even more intentional. The best time to reach out, like for my example, what I've learned is actually January. I have to reach out in January to get in that ideal summer publication because they send it out in March. Why? Families start thinking about what their summer plans are going to be, what camps they're going to do, all that kind of stuff, what activities they're going to do. They start thinking about that in March, some as early as January. But by and large, a lot of media around that topic comes out months earlier, so you have to get to them months before that. So that's one issue, is that since our businesses are, seasonal, we have to anticipate that seasonality and the activities that need to be done to adequately promote our programs months and months and months in advance. So if you are still in the habit, or your reality is just catching up with the day to day, then you aren't going to have that bandwidth to forward plan effective marketing strategies. By and large, most are going to be free. And I've been there. So, if you're there right now, don't feel bad, because it's really difficult to do. That's why most small businesses don't really do a lot of marketing. But especially in our area, we know that getting the word out, like, what does that mean for us? It means having consistent presence in our community. It means having some type of referral structure, infrastructure framework for parents and customers. It means having those relationships with the program coordinators, whether that's, at the Parks and Rec, at the school district, at whatever facility, at the schools, having those relationships so that we know when the best time to get the word out is for our programs. And all of this stuff happens when we are in a calm, measured, forward-thinking space. This is not the type of work that we can get done when we're exhausted at the end of the day, after the day just kind of did with us whatever it wanted to do, and we're just lucky we made it to the end. So it requires some bandwidth there. So let's talk about data from the community. What are other people experiencing? Before I talk about a topic, I always make sure that other people are experiencing pain around this area, or find information around this area timely and useful for their context. So I had a recent conversation with another provider, and they talked about not knowing what enrollment was going to look like, even at the same site, not even year to year, but term to term. The exact same program offered on the same day, same time, same community. They're the same instructor, same price, yet the program enrollment could be 0 one term and full with a wait list the next term. And what was this operator's response to that? They keep that partnership going, and they try it every time, because it's a rolling of the dice. Like, will it fill? Won't it? And then they just have to see. Unfortunately, there's some sunk cost in that, because you've already carved out that space in your schedule for that program. So we could do everything we can in our arsenal to get the word out and try to get the buzz going, and get registration up. But if it doesn't happen, we're not going to cancel it a month beforehand. Most people don't purchase their school-based programs that early, or that far in advance before a term starts. So we're going to give it until, most people in this space give it 2 weeks to a week before, and then cancel. And then by that time, think about the impact of the relationship with the customer, with the person buying that service from you. It makes you look bad. And we see it as something that we really can't avoid. We're trying to keep the partnership going. But also, we can't run a program with 0 kids, or 1, or even 2. So those tough decisions have to be made. It's interesting because I met with my own staff recently after having a conversation with the magician that has been a guest on the episode. And he spoke specifically about the damage in reputation and relationships when a program is canceled, and how many of those customers don't come back. Interestingly enough, I then had a conversation an hour later with my own team, and we discussed an analysis we did of canceled programs, and 97% of families that purchased those programs were canceled. They got a full refund, never purchased from us again. That is intense. So that there is such a real cost when we don't have predictable registration, enrollment processes, and marketing processes embedded within that. When it's all manual, it all lives in our heads, or if we think we're on top of it, we have some written down SOP somewhere that no one ever references. Now, speaking from personal experience, right? Although I have a million SOPs that I felt really good generating in GPT, and no one uses them, including me, and now they're all outdated. But yeah, when that lives in our head, this is what is an expected outcome. And it's unfortunate. Those families, they don't buy from us again. Think about their perception. They didn't have enough interest. Like no one else wanted it. So then they feel like, well, why am I the odd person out that I was the one that purchased it? I must not know something that other people know. Other people must know it's like not a good program. Yikes. So then we, handicap our ability to reach full enrollment and have the best possible brand, at that location in the future. So it's just something to think about. Those marketing opportunities, wins, but especially the losses when things aren't effectively marketed, they impact our business at our same sites for a longer time period than we might naturally assume. Quick break. I'm building Enrollments, an all-in-one operations platform built specifically for kids enrichment, entrepreneurs, and operators. I built it because I needed it. Go to getenrocks.com to learn more and get on the list. Okay, back to the episode. So now I want to talk through what marketing enrichment actually looks like for enrichment businesses. Because for us, it doesn't look as sleek as this really polished social media strategy. It doesn't look like outsourcing to a marketing firm. For most of us, it doesn't look like that. Most of what we do is done in-house by us, by the operational lead, by the director, by the owner, and we're just doing the best we can. When we think about what makes our strategy works versus what doesn't, it's going to be these three things. So we have to make it easy for families to find us. We have to make it easy for schools and partners to advocate for us. And we have to make it easy for happy parents to tell other parents about us. And oftentimes with us, especially, this is a plus in being in our industry, is that the simplest thing is the thing that works. So having one clear email address, is that prominently displayed on your Google profile? Do you have a Google profile? Let's get that one up and going. Make sure your contact information is current. Make sure you're checking it. Make sure as soon as someone goes to your homepage, your contact email is stated. It is easy to read. It is visible on every single page that they go to. They can easily access it. Same is true with your social media. Some people don't want to just send you a message or a DM. They might want to send you an email. Make sure your email is also there as well. And make sure that you are inviting people to make those connections for you. So you could even have like a simple sentence on your site that says, hey, you want our program at your school? Email us here. That just is enough to get the ball going, ball turning, however they say it. Get that ball going. So that people who are advocates for us can do the work for us. A lot of people want to. People love our programs. They want to see us succeed. They want to help us do that. They want to pass the torch. We don't always need a formal referral kit, incentive, all that kind of stuff. I've mentioned it in a previous episode, but I've tried to do that before. Just go over the top with incentivizing people when they really love our programs. If they are, just over the moon about it, we then say, oh, we have this program, and if you can get us at your school, then your child can participate for free for a term. That never worked. people really didn't care about that. They wanted it at their school, they did it, and that was it. And really what mattered was, who did they go to talk to? If their school had an active enrichment culture, then that connection happened really easily. And if the school did not have the culture, then it didn't. And even though we would then try to pick up the torch, relight the flame, and get the conversation going, when there was that initial friction, that's the canary in the coal mine, that this is not going to work out, because for our programs to be marketed effectively, we need advocates on the other side. It truly is a partnership. We cannot do it alone. And so that takes us into the next thing I want to talk about, which is the relationship with the community partners you have. Like, that really is the bulk of your marketing. So school partners or PTOs for school-based programs, those are going to be your distribution channels. Same for those of us working in parks and recreation departments, or those of us working in churches. They serve very large church communities. Let's make sure that we are working with them to infuse our programs and our promotional materials into their already existing, well-organized distribution for information. Their newsletters, their flyers, their emails that go out. We want to be there. We want to be in as many places as they're communicating with their people. We want to be wherever they are. So we have to learn what they do, what their communication cadence is with their community, and how we can make sure that we're part of that. In my experience, what makes that partner advocate for you is when you show up on time, when your staff is reliable, when you communicate clearly, and when you make their life easier. The littlest things can become things that make their life harder. I'll share a story from me a week ago. So I had a school partner, and we use QuickBooks for our invoicing because none of the registration platforms have both of those functions. So yes, 90% of our programs are paid for by families. They are self-pay. Some programs we have are paid by the schools or by the districts. So we have to send out invoices. So logging into QuickBooks, since systems don't talk to each other, we had updated contact information for this school, who was the billing contact, updated in one area, some of our spreadsheets of the many spreadsheets that we operate the business from, but that did not transfer over to QuickBooks. So the invoices were being sent to an outdated contact, which frustrated the new lead of that process. And this person expressed that. So those little things really can become big headaches on the other side. And positive thing from that situation is that we reach out to our partners just to check in, not just the beginning and the end of a program. We check in throughout, because those little things can begin to fester, and you want to have a regular release valve for any miscommunication, any friction that may be building. And so on the other end, we know those things that make partners advocate for us. What are those things that make them go silent? When we make last minute changes, and that does include when we cancel our programs. A lot of our partners, they understand, like, well, yeah, no one registered. So other things to make them go silent would be parents complaining about things that they have to manage, parents not knowing where to go for drop off or pickup, not knowing basic information about the outcomes of the program, how to pay, where to go for customer support, or they may have an issue with something in the program. They need support too. So if your partner then has to be that middle man, middle woman, then that adds to their workload. And we are supposed to make this as seamless as possible. And in the ideal partnership dynamic, we do not add to their workload at all. We are making them look good. We make their entire organization look better, and that's how it should work. A symbiotic relationship. We don't want to have a parasitic relationship, and we're just needing them for marketing support and communication support and management support and all of these different things, yet we're not showing up as a high value program and partner to work with. So we always have to make sure to keep those things in balance. And what is required to ensure that we don't make our partners go silent? So not having last minute changes, hence why really getting discipline and knowing our enrollment and registration trends, the types of programs that work best for us as early as possible. That helps us with our relationships down the line with customers, but also with our partners. Doing regular check-ins, end of session debriefs, also having conversations every now and again. There's only but so much that we can really talk through on the phone. So yeah, we want to make sure we do that and make renewal really simply. We want to renew our partnerships and make sure, okay, everything was good, cool. So we're coming back. You got to do that work. So there is no guessing. You don't want to wait until the last minute and, oh wait, we already have another provider like you for our next term. Like, oh great. So yeah, all this is simple stuff. It does require you to have the time and the bandwidth. So cool. So now I want to move on to talking about our tool stack. It costs us more than we think. So I think about this as like a tool belt, and we have a bunch of different tools in our industry to do all the different functions we need to do. And that is literally like heavy weighing us down. I spoke to many in this space who have described a dream tool being one that would be there all in one tool for communication, billing, payment, scheduling, marketing, all of the things that are essential to our businesses all in one place. And so if we think about the cost of not having that, every minute that you spend switching between your Google Sheets and your Stripe and your email platform and your scheduling platform and your registration platform and all of these different things, that's time that you're not working on your strategy, your relationship management, those high touch interactions, going out and bringing donuts, maybe, a token of appreciation, having a conversation over coffee. That's where deeply rooted relationships in the community happen. Those really like authentic, slowed down, eye to eye conversations. But we have to have the time and the bandwidth to do that. So all the time that we spend piecemealing all of these different functions, that's time that we're not doing the intentional work that is going to help our businesses grow. So the operators who are going to win in the next 3 years are not those who necessarily have the best programs. I know it's not fair. It is reality. They are the ones who are lean enough, have enough margins, have enough operational efficiencies that they can run their programs profitably over a sustained period of time. It's a race. Like if you think about it, like a marathon, the person who slows it down and they're just doing a light jog, 5 miles per hour, and they're chilling all 26.2 miles. They make it to the end. They make it a lot further than that person who gasses out the sprint. And if you were like me over the weekend and pulled a hip abductor trying to sprint to prove nothing to no one at the gym, but my speed did reach 12 miles per hour. Thank you. But then I had to take the next 2 days off. But anyway, this is not about me. This is not about me. The people who take it slower, they're lean with their energy, they're efficient with their energy, they're going to go further. They're going to be here in 10 years. There are a lot of businesses that serve kids and they have been fantastic, world class, best approach, most wonderful adults working with kids. And they fizzle out because they don't have the processes and the people and the tools to sustain the business side. So, we have to have both. But since this is a business, we have to start with our margins and our processes, or else we're not going to last. So this is all related, and it's all essential for us to thrive and to be here for the long term. So I have resources, of course, every episode. Sharing is caring, right? That's in my intro. Oh no, that's in my outro. My daughter often says her little part. She'll be in the car. Sharing is caring. I'm like, okay. She's like a little celeb in her mind with her podcast feature. But anyway, so yeah, always sharing truly is caring. So I have free resources. I have a school partnership outreach template that I've made specifically for you at enrichmententrepreneur.com/resources. And if you are ready to stop duct taping your business together, being super weighed down by all of these tools in your tool belt, and you're ready to get lean and have a platform built specifically for the kids enrichment context, to serve all of your needs in one place, well, there's a platform built specifically for you. You can find out more at getenrops.com. That is GETENROPS.com. And if you're wondering, what is that? Well, it's a platform I'm developing. Always working on something. So yeah, I've been very frustrated with not having the tools I need, with the constant breakdowns and inefficiencies that I've experienced in this industry over time. I cannot stand it. So instead of sitting back and complaining about not having the tool that I need, the platform that I need, I just said, all right, I'll do it myself. And so that's what it is. NROPS, Enrichment Operations. So you can learn more about that at getenrops.com. So next week, please come back. We are going to talk about where the industry is heading. I'm a sucker for some good data. So yeah, I'm going to dive into some data. And operators who aren't thinking about efficiency right now are going to really feel it by next year. So we're going to go there. We're going to talk about some tough realities facing us now and in the very, very near future. A lot is changing for us, and we want to be ahead. We're not trying to fall behind. So cool. I'll see you all next week. Bye. And one more thing. Remember, I'm building NROPS, finally, an all-in-one platform built specifically for kids enrichment, entrepreneurs, and operators. We're talking everything all in the same place. Finally, from scheduling to instructor management to partner and parent communication to onboarding and registration, all of it. I built it because we need it. So go to getenrops.com to get on the list. See you next episode. And that's a wrap. Know someone who needs to hear this episode? Share it, because
Sharing is caring.
if this episode earned it, give us all the stars in a review on whatever platform you're listening on, because it helps other enrichment entrepreneurs find this show. Got a question or a story worth telling? Head to enrichmententrepreneur.com. You can submit your questions, apply to be a guest, and access resources to help you launch and grow your business. Again, that's enrichmententrepreneur.com.
Until next time, keep learning, keep building.